I want to pick up on what Phil and Rick said before I go into this. Phil made the comment about where Bill Clinton would be if some people didn't do what they did in '92. Just think of what we wouldn't have if they didn't do that in '92. You know what we wouldn't have? We wouldn't have Hillary. So think about it. And Rick's comment about people that take time out of their lives to do this is quite right. I've traveled the whole state running for this office, and it is a lot of work for a lot of people. For those of you who don't know it yet, I'm guessing apparently I was told today there's some question about this, and I'll assure you this much. I followed state statutes and state law before I did what I did. I even consulted with a former Attorney General of the state of Arizona to find out if it was correct to do and allowed. Person won a few cases in the Supreme Court, so I suppose it is. So for those of you who don't know, and probably most of you don't, I not only filed to run for the United States Senate and got all of our signatures unpaid for, but we also filed to run for the U.S. House and CD8, so that all of you know. So you will see my name twice on the ballot, unless the Arizona courts do something totally unconstitutional. As to Mr. McCain not showing up at things when I used to have my radio show, we had well over 200 people on the air listening to us every day at the traffic hour. He just wouldn't come on because he doesn't like hard questions. It's just that simple for Mr. McCain. And yes, I do live here in Sun City West. I live about a mile from here, give or take a couple feet, and I'll bet you anything I'm the one candidate that drove the farthest today to get here. I had to come 130-some miles just to get here because we went somewhere else this morning. If you'll go to our website, vanussenate.com, you will see the issues, the policies, and everything else you need to see. I supported Donald Trump before anybody else really did, as far as people running for office that I know of, because most of them didn't want to touch it, especially what I call the party establishment. And some of them are still having a problem with it. I realize Mr. Trump has his own problems in his own past life, as all of us probably do. I know I had mine before I finally came to the faith that brought it that way as a child and didn't finally turn my head around until I got in my late 20s, and then my life did change. I'm also a retired successful businessman, political talk show host, and also my wife and myself ran an outreach in LA on Skid Row and other places to help the less fortunate than ourselves. We need as voters, I believe, and I've said this everywhere I go, to begin to look more at records of people than rhetoric. Keeping that in mind, on our website there is a post there. It says opponents' records. And it's linked to, if they are in a state office or federal office, their voting history and what they've really done. One of the things I did in business was negotiate contracts with major corporations in this country, food companies, Safeways, Walmarts, Costco's, and we made money. Anybody in the food business knows how hard that is because your margins are tight. I submit to you this, and it's nothing personal with me. I look at the condition of our overall country and government, and I look at the people that are sitting back there, and even some sitting here in Phoenix. And you have to ask yourself, how in the world did we get here? Trump made it very clear. We have people in Washington that don't know how to negotiate and do bad trade deals. We have jobs leaving here, we're leaking like a sieve. We can't get jobs for our own kids. We're continuing to bring people into this country from around the world, both legally and illegally, to take jobs from our children. This has to stop. We have laws on the books that are not enforced deliberately to make sure big corporations can make money. The McCarran-Walters Act is one of them, and there are others. H-1B visa needs to be frozen. We don't need to import more labor into America. We need to give our children the opportunity to have the same things that I got when I got out of school in the 60s, the opportunity to get a real job. Because I didn't have to compete with people from France and Russia and Germany and every illegal and their mother coming across the border. This is what we have to do as a people. But I submit to you that if you continue to put the same people back in office, they're going to continue to do the same thing they've been doing. Einstein's definition of insanity was do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. You are insane. Keep voting for incumbents and you're going to get the same results, like it or not. It's got nothing to do with liking somebody or not liking somebody. And I've heard something addressed a number of times at different events I go to. How many people here, who do you think is the most famous Republican that you know? Just a name. Who? Reagan. Not true. The most famous Republican that ever held the White House is Abraham Lincoln.
That's right.
He failed at business 3 times, and he lost 9 races for office. 9 times. Aren't you glad he tried once more? So am I. I've lost a couple of times myself. Not trying, but quite honestly, I don't get a great deal of help from certain people within the establishment of the Republican Party. I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking you to at least go to the website, look at the issues, look at the policies, look at the positions, and look at the records of the people I'm running against, and ask yourselves, who can I trust? And ask one other question. I don't want a career. I have one. I don't need a new one. I want to thank you for your time, and yes, I am a Senate candidate, but I'm also running for the House, and I believe from all the advice I've gotten legally, legitimately. God bless you and thank you.